All right. Want to say Kal Halal Yahweh, Bashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, the Water Yahweh, for the Shabbat day. All right. We know Cap Nations of Kings and Priests. Want to continue a lesson that we've been doing for a few weeks already. This lesson is the importance of the covenants, man, that I think a lot of us are missing. And I made an error last week, so I wanted to go ahead and, I was, basically what we did was we went through the covenants. We did the covenant of Adam, right? Went into the covenant of Abraham and Isaac, and we were going to go ahead and jump into the covenant in Mount Zion, right? Or the covenant that was made for us in with Moses, right? Well, how can I forget the covenant with Jacob, right? Very important covenant. Not only that, but it also gives us an understanding of the different nations or the goyims or the Gentiles that we are called in the New Testament. That's very important, man. So again, this is a continuation in those classes. We do recommend going back to those classes and getting a deeper breakdown of each and every covenant. As you will see, it links it up to the covenant we're in today. You know, and that's really the most important thing of what we got to do to stay consistent in the covenant and what's important within that covenant, man. Right? So, again, today's class is going to be focused on um, the covenant of Jacob, man. So let's go ahead and start. If I could, let's go ahead and start with Genesis 28. We'll start at verse 13. Now, remember, we left off at the covenant with Isaac, and then the covenant with Jacob and Esau. Understand, Esau was given a blessing, but that covenant needed to stay with Jacob, right? So now this is basically a continuation of that. All right. So we're going to start at Genesis 28 and verse 13.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 28 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh, God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed.
Right. And doing what? Understanding this is what the Lord, what is he doing here? He's describing what those covenants are. Right? Re-engaging in that covenant to the fourth son of Abraham, to the fourth son of Noah, to the fourth son of Enoch, to the fourth son of Adam. Right? He's giving these the same blessing, right, that he gave our forefathers. Right? So I wanted to correct myself. We were going to jump Jacob. Like, good Lord, Jacob is, man, powerful. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit. So we got some reading to do. But go ahead, I'll continue reading.
Verse 14. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee.
Come on, man.
Which I have spoken to thee of.
When I have spoken to thee of. Come on, man. I mean, this is a promise that Yahweh was given directly to us, man. Understand that, and when you speak to a Christian, they will totally disannul Israel. But yet we read verses like this in the scriptures, right? Everybody else can have the blessing. Everybody else can be the chosen of the Most High, but not the one that the Most High was speaking to. Not the one that the Most High said that your seed will be blessed on earth. For some reason, they never equate that to Yasha'Allah, or what we would call Israel, Jacob, the seed of Jacob, right? So it's very important that we stay focused on those particular things, man, because let me tell you, they'll take you out of it. They'll start using the Gentiles or the other nations. When how can the Gentiles be the other nations when even Paul himself talks about the seed of Israel being called another people in the book of Hosea? Even Isaiah talks about us being called by another name. Right, real quick, let's grab that precept. Isaiah 65:15, real quick. I just want to put that out there because, I've heard them say this before. Them Christian apologists, they will say, never has Israel. Never did it say that Israel will lose their identity. Come on, man.
Oh my gosh.
They literally will say that. The slithering snakes, man.
65 and 16.
65 and 15.
15. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord God shall slay thee and call his servants by another name.
See that? Literally telling you that we will be called by another name. When you read the curses, as a matter of fact, let's get it real quick, man. I don't want to oversee that because that's like we always tell you, brothers, man. The milk is powerful if you know how to use it. You ain't gotta go deep. You ain't gotta go deep, man. So some of y'all go so deep you drowned. The scriptures are there. So now look, Deuteronomy 28, right? So Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1, right? Go ahead, Ike.
That's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the Lord, unto the voice of Yahweh thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So now what are we talking about here? We're talking about the blessings, right? Salakia. We're talking about the blessings, right? Ooh. Hold on. Ooh, not bad. Give me 1 second.
There we go.
My bad. Got a phone call. All right. So we talking about the blessings, right? So if we would listen to all that, right? Jump down to verse 10.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of you.
As a blessing. As a blessing, right? All the people of the earth shall know that thou art called by the name of the Lord. Do blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, does the world know that we're called by Yasha'Allah, Prince of the Power? Because that's what that means, right? That's what that means. That's why we have to go into Jacob. That's why this is very important, man. I can't believe I almost missed that. I was going to jump Jacob, man. But so now as a blessing, they know that we were going to be called by the name of the Lord. So what we talking about? They never went through the curses? Is that what we saying? Israel never been through the curses? Of course we have. So when it says in Isaiah, we just read it in 65 and 15, you shall leave your name for a curse. That's what it's talking about. Y'all see it? Y'all understand? Okay. 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 Is that a Khan or La'a? Khan. Oh, all praises. All praises. All right. So now understand, as a curse, we were going to leave our name, right? So let's go back to Isaiah. 65 and 15, Baba Kashan. We'll just read it again.
I ended up losing that tab. So
no, you're good. You're
good. Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For the Lord God shall slay thee and call his servants by another name.
Understand that there's a reason why you see a lineage in the beginning of the Gospels of in Yahweh Shai, right? Because we were called by another name. So it was important for us to understand that. Right? So yeah, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Damn. Y'all still? Shh, cállate. Hold on.
There we go. Hey, put it on do not disturb, right?
My phone?
Yeah, because then I don't think nobody can call you. I think it'll block it. On airplane mode.
On airplane mode.
Do not disturb. If you're using your phone to do the live, also for it to be heard on your laptop, it's best to just put it on do not disturb.
The phone?
Yeah.
Where is that? Do not disturb. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
So, like, if you're on your phone in airplane mode.
It's airplane mode. I could still be connected to Wi-Fi on that?
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
Yeah. It'll turn it off, but you got to turn it back on in airplane mode.
Oh wait, I'm on airplane mode now. You can hear me? Okay, I'm good. All praises. And I think that was some Jehovah Witnesses, man. They were knocking on my door. So my what is it? The ring cam, and it goes to the phone. So I was about to answer the door too. Good Lord.
I'm about to give you that jw.org
card. Good Lord. All right, all praise. Where were we at? Isaiah 65, called by another name. All right, all praise. So now we see the lineage, right? That Yahweh Shai has. That's important, man. Like they overlook everything else, right? They look up everything else. That's important, man. I mean, it's in detail in Matthew. It's in detail in Luke. How come we're not talking about it? Because we were changed by another name, so that you, Israelites, in these last days, can pick up this Bible and be like, hold on, these are my forefathers. Right? I'm looking through it now, and this is my forefather. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and go down the line, go down the list, man. Right? Let's jump to Genesis, back to Genesis 32 and 28.
Genesis chapter 32, and you said 28?
28, yeah.
It's the book of Genesis chapter 32 and verse 28.
As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's start Salakia. Let's start at verse 20.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 32 and verse 20. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the presence with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me.
Read.
So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me.
So now hold on. Y'all got to understand that our forefather Jacob, he understood the mission. He understood the assignment. He knew the blessing was already endowed to him by his father. But he wanted to make sure and understand that he was going to bless me. Right? And he was not going to let him go until he was going to be blessed. So how did he bless him? Continue reading.
Verse 27. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men, and hast prevailed.
You see that? That's how important your name is. Your name, Yasha'Allah, Israel, that's what that means. Everything that you ever been through, everything that our people have been through shall prevail in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. What a representation. But through our ignorance, what? We failed, man. We failed and we lost that name as a curse, right? As a curse, you shall be slain and be called by another name. Right? A precept, Hosea, man. Hosea 1.
At the top.
Hosea 1 and verse, give me verse 9.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 9. Then said God, Call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God.
That happened, family. That happened. The Most High took that from us and took our, we didn't deserve it. We sold our birthright, especially Northern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom willingly sold our birthright, right? But what do? Now we have that mediation between us and Yahweh because of Yahweh Shai, because of what Yahweh Shai did. How come we overseeing that? We talk about more law than Yahweh Shai. Right? The law itself is not going to save you. Law and Yahweh Shai will. Right? There's a balance, family, because the Pharisees, there was a lot of Pharisees with a lot of leaven. They kept the law. They knew they were Israel. But were they truly princes of the power? Right? So now with that, we will be called, he said, Lo Amani, ye are not my people. What's his people? Didn't we read earlier, his people shall be called by my name? Didn't we read that? So now, verse 10.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God.
That's Yasha'Allah. That's Israel. Sons of the living God and daughters of the living God. Daughters of Zion. Right? You see, isn't there redundancy in the Bible, right? Isn't it pretty redundant? Yasha Allah, Israel, sons of God, sons of the power, right? Isn't there a redundancy here? But the main thing, y'all gotta walk like it, man. Y'all gotta walk like the sons of God. When I say walk, you gotta walk with him. Right? A lot of us say we do, but we don't. A lot of us walk in the way we want to walk. We let the scriptures fit our lives instead of us fitting the scriptures. I'm gonna repeat that again. We let the scriptures fit our lives instead of us fitting the scriptures. This is everything. This is the truth, Akim. This is it. Many are called, but few are chosen, right? Where were we? Genesis, right?
Unless you, is that all you want to know, Hosea?
Oh, yeah, that's all. That's it. That's it. That's all I wanted. Let's go to the covenant in Bethel. Genesis 35. We're going to start at verse 10. Right?
Genesis 35.
Y'all see the connection here, man? Or am I just going crazy? I'm just going crazy.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 35, and verse 10. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel.
Right? Yasha Allah, Israel. Read.
And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins.
Read.
And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land.
So now this is what? The promise, isn't it? This goes back to the covenant, Akim. It's the same covenant. Right? Read.
Verse 13, and God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even the pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon.
What's he doing here? Can I answer that? What's he doing here? Hey, shalom, shawasha, shalom, yabashon shabakata, shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
What's he doing here, Akim?
It's said in the same verse.
Yeah.
He's offering a sacrifice.
Close. Yeah. Yeah. He's performing a priestly duty, isn't he? Being a priest. This, by the way, this pillar, they say they can still find today in the land. I'm gonna share that link. Oh my God, I forgot the name of the channel, but I'll share the link. But anyways, that's, yeah, Corey, you pretty much on point. He's performing the priestly duties on there. A drink, we have a pillar. We have a selected location, right? This is mind you, Akim, this is before the temple of the Levites, right? Which is what it's always been there. It's the same covenant.
The holies of holies.
The holies of holies. Where he at? Eden, Jerusalem, Yasharal, right? It's there. It's always been there. Right? Go ahead, Ak.
Verse 15. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spake with him, Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor.
Oh, that's all I want from that, Salakia. That's all I want. Let's go to Exodus 3:3, I believe. Hold on, 3 and... Let me look at it real quick. 3 and verse Let's start at verse 3 and 3.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and verse 3. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, the Most High called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I.
Read.
And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground.
It's what?
Holy ground.
Holy ground. Why would he say that? Continue reading.
Verse 6. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God.
Right, because so now this is the Most High reminding Moses, I am the God of thy forefather, man. Right? And I promised them this land. It's the same covenant, Akim. It's the same lineage. It's the same seed. Our God changes not, so Jacob is not consumed. Right? That verse sounds a lot different now, doesn't it? Right? Psalms 135 and verse 4. Let me go there with you.
Let me know when you're ready.
Psalms 135 and verse 4. Oops. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 135 and verse 4. For Yahweh hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure.
That's the point, man, you know? So as a treasure, as something that's a representative of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we have to, you're representing something. That's what the name is all about. A prince of the power. The kingdom was only promised unto you. So of course you're going to go through tribulation. Of course things are going to come in the way of the truth in your life. That's why Yahweh Shai had to say, look, man, I understand things are going to happen to you, but you're not greater than your master. If they call me a devil, they're going to call you even worse. So us as Israelites, we got to understand the responsibility and also the blessing and the honor it is to be a seed of Jacob. To hold on to that promise and understand what the covenant is all about. Because guess what, Akim? Our forefathers did not. We failed, didn't we? We failed, and so a reconciliation needed to happen, which was through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Right? Matthew 1 and verse 2.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 2. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren.
So now we know that the lineage in itself, of a Mashiach, he comes through Judah, the line of Judah, and he needed to come through that line. However, he's the star. You ever heard like the Hollywood stars or whatever they call themselves, which they're more demons than anything else, but they call themselves the star, the star. Guess who the star is for us? It's Yahweh Shai. Go to chapter 2, Baba Kasha, and verse 1.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. Now when Yahweh Shai was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east.
You see that?
And are
Go ahead.
and are come to worship him.
They seen his star in the east, right? Because they read in the book of Numbers, the 17th chapter, that a star is going to come out of Jacob. And that's Yahweh Shai. So Jacob, the blessing that what was his blessing, Akim, right? His blessing, what? That all his seed shall be blessed, right? Right? That they were the chosen of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? That was the blessing, Khan. So guess who the star is? Yahweh Shai. A star shall come out of Jacob. Right, real quick, let's go to that prophecy, just so number 17. Is it number 17? Hold on. Yeah, 24 and 17. My bad.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 24 and verse 17. I shall see him, but not now.
Mm-hmm.
I shall behold him, but not nigh.
Mm-hmm.
There shall come a star out of Jacob,
right?
And a scepter shall arise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheth.
You see that? That's the prophecy that they were linked to. So that star that they were talking about is Yahweh Shai, right? And the star out of Jacob, right? The star out of Yasha Allah, right? Let's go to the book of John. John 1. And oops, hold on. John 1 and verse 50.
This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 50. Yahweh Shai answered and said unto him, because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree. Believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
And he saith unto him, verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heaven opened, and the angels of the Most High ascending and descending upon the Son of Man.
Where is he getting this from? Where is he getting this from, Akim? He's getting this from Jacob's ladder, isn't he? Ascending and descending. You see the link there, right? Let's go to Romans. Romans 9. Romans 9. Romans 9, and I want verse 13, I believe. Hold on, let me look at it. Yeah, 13. We'll start there.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy.
Right, read.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
That's the point, right? What does a prince do to a king? A king wants the prince to be more powerful than him. He wants him to carry on his legacy. He wants him to be everything like a king wants to make sure that the prince can handle everything that he can handle in his kingdom, right? So when you're looking at Yasha Allah in the name Prince of the Power, that's the power is in you. Didn't Yahweh Shai say that the kingdom is in you?
The kingdom is within.
The kingdom is within. And then they boasted about being Abraham's children. And it's about boasting in the lineage, is about the name and the representation thereof. Right? Y'all understand?
Passing the torch.
Passing the, yeah, represent in the name. In the name. When we read in the name all the time, it doesn't necessarily always mean a physical name. It's a representation thereof. Right? A tree bears its fruit. Khan? Salakia, John 15. My bad. Let's go to John 15. John 15 and verse 1. This is what Yahweh Shai said.
This is the book of John. Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
Hang it. Come on. The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me.
Abide in me. Abide in the vine of Yahweh Shai. Right? So when he talks about him plucking it out, him purging it, that it may bring off more fruit, that happens. If you're know anything about gardening, that happens. You have to cut that fruit out, or cut that root out, or cut that branch out to create more fruit. There's us natives, we had this, we would actually intentionally burn the forest. But the only reason why we would burn the forest is because after, and it looked, it would damage everything, right? Obviously the fire would burn everything up. But as it burnt, when it, after it was burnt, the soil came back twice as healthy as it did before. And all those trees and all those vines, they burnt up, but now you have good trees. Now you have good vines. Now you have good plants. You can look it up. It's a former method of the way we used to farm, so that we could plant our food. So let's say if we were a nomadic people, so in South America. So in South America, when we would travel, we would have to, let's say we were stationary in a certain location. In that location, we would burn, and then within, let's say, 2 or 3 months, you would have fertile soil there. So now I can plant my veggies, all that stuff there that we could not plant there before. The purging needs to happen. The only question is, will you be purged? Will I be purged? And what type of fruit are we going to yield? Because we understand that we have to bear fruit with Yahweh Shai. We cannot do it without him, Akim. He is the answer to all that. He is accepted by the Lord. Right? Let's go to Hebrews 11, and we'll start out verse 20.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 20.
Hold on. I'm lost right now. Hold on. Salakia. My bad. Verse 20. Okay, go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 20. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come.
Right.
By faith, Jacob, when he was a dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshipped, leaning upon the top of his staff.
Right. So we understand that Jacob and Esau were given blessings, but the covenant was always with Jacob. So Jacob's faith was tested. Achium and Aquathium, your faith is going to be tested. You're going through stuff. You're going with issues in life, things that are from the past that are still coming up. You got to deal with them. But now you have the truth. Now you have the scriptures. Now you have Romans 15:4 that says, you know, everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning so that we may have hope. And we put our hope in Yahweh Shai. Right? So it took Jacob faith. Right? And then not only that, but the blessing that he put on Ephraim and Manasseh. So that Joseph, right? I'm going to keep reading.
Verse 23. By faith, or so like that. Verse 22. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones.
Right. So we understand all this faith, right? In a Mashiach is how that covenant remained within Israel. And that is the point that you could take the position however you want to take it, whether you want to say you're in the old or the new or the whatever, intermediate or in between, or I'm not going to say, you know, our position. Our position is that we in the new, because how can you not be in the new without the blood of a Mashiach? However, regardless of your position, the focus should always be faith in a Mashiach. Because the instructions of the covenant were always there. The instructions of the covenant were always there, and we broke it. We're at Romans 9. All right, let's go to Romans 9. Oh, so like a Hebrews 9. My bad. Hebrews 9. Hebrews 9. Hebrews 9. I'm waiting. Hebrews already. Hebrews 9 and verse. Let's start at verse. 13.
Hebrews chapter 9, verse 13. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of a Mashiach, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to the Most High, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God? And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
They which are called. They which are called, right? Akim, we got to continue in this faith and understand that the covenant was broken. It was put back together by Yahweh Shai. We, as Israelite men and women, have a responsibility to carry on that name of Israel. This is not a fad. This is not a fashion thing or a thing. This is life. This book is the book of life. These law, statutes, and commandments are the way we're supposed to live. And our faith should always be focused in a Mashiach because we failed, right? So that covenant that was given to Jacob is extremely important. In addition to the name, as you carrying a Yasha Allah or Israel in that name, right? So with that, I yield.
I'm gonna keep reading.
Keep reading.
For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
Man.
Exodus 24 for reference. Verse 17. For a testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth. Cross right? Hamashiach walking the earth wasn't in effect yet.
Right.
Verse 18, whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood. For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats, Exodus 24, with water and scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, this is the blood of the testament which the Most High hath enjoined unto you. Moreover,
Salakia Nehemiah, real quick, when you and when you read that chapter in Exodus, and this is why you see testament and covenant simultaneously. In Exodus, it says covenant, the blood of the covenant. Right. Salakia, go ahead.
For reference, Exodus chapter 24.
Right.
Verse 4, and then I'll go back to Hebrews.
Con.
And Exodus chapter 24 and verse 4. Read the whole chapter when you get a chance. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar under the hill and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, testament, and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh hath said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant, testament, which Yahweh hath made with you concerning all these words. Back to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 16.
Right.
Or I'm gonna start at verse 16 and go down again.
Yeah.
For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator. We just read what Moses did have the people do with the sacrifice to get the blood. Verse 17. For a testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth. Whereupon, neither the first testament was dedicated without blood. For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats with water and scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, this is the blood of the testament, covenant, which the Most High hath enjoined unto you. Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood. And without shedding of blood is no remission.
Is no what?
No remission.
Real quick, precept, Matthew 26 and 28. For good measure. Just start with using that this verbiage, and this is again directly from the words of Yahweh Shai. Wait, is that what I want? Yeah, 28.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 28. For this is my blood of the New Testament, covenant, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
Going back to Hebrews.
Hebrews chapter 9, verse 22. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission.
So now what we talking about, Akim? If the remission of sins is his blood, and the coming in of a New Testament, what we talking about? We again, this is the words of Yahweh Shai, right? But at the end of the day, the focus should be him and should be the faith. Period. Whatever position you see yourself in, this is the position that you always got to go to. You have to go to Yahushua. You take him out, where's your remission of sins? Where is your coming unto the Father? This is the argument we have with Old Testament brothers who don't believe in Yahushua. They'll say, well, it's King David. And we'll argue, well, we don't have to go anywhere else but the Old Testament. And even in the Old Testament, it tells you that he ain't dealing with us anymore. You go to Hosea, it says that I will go return to my place until they acknowledge their offense. The confession, yeah. Who are you confessing to? You need to confess unto a mediator. He's not dealing with us. So again, the mediator in himself is Christ, is Yahushua Mashiach. Christ means anointed, right? So, yeah.
Verse 28, so a Mashiach was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. We just read in 22, if there's no shedding of blood, there's no remission. And we see in 28 that he's offered himself to bear the sins of many. And the only way he was to do that was his blood.
Right.
If he didn't die, why do you think he got mad at Peter? When Peter tried to prevent that from happening, when Peter was trying to stop that from happening, he called him out of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And just real quick for clarification, in verse 29 on Matthew 26, when he says, but I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink in new with you in my Father's kingdom. You're still in remission of sins. Who are you remitting your sins to? That's my question, because it has to come through him. No man come unto the Father unless it comes through a Mashiach.
But by me.
But by me. So I guess if you don't believe it's his blood, you know better than the Old Testament, brother. You know? Which is dangerous because, again, he wasn't dealing with us. Right? So now with him, we can have reconciliation with that faith that was given unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Right? So all praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man.
I got one more scripture.